Well, hello again. It's been a while. I've been on another one of my crazy busy stints with work recently, so I haven't really had much time to film any new content, but here I am. And for this video, I wanted to do something a little bit different. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Nick Powell, and I've been a professional 360 virtual tour and commercial photographer for just over 7 years. And in this video, I wanted to share my journey with you all, just to give people out there an idea of what it takes to start in 360 photography. Not sure how long this is going to take, so I hope you'll stick around till the end, as I have lots to cover. And those of you that follow me know that sometimes I can, what's the best way to put this? I can waffle on a little bit. And I will be linking to past videos and other bits and pieces throughout this one so you can get as much information as possible. And if you do decide to purchase anything mentioned in this video, then I would really appreciate it if you use my links in the description below, as it does help me to put food on the table and to support the channel, as these videos do take quite a bit of time to make. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail in each section, otherwise this video would be hours and hours and hours long. But if you do want to delve a bit deeper into how to take, edit and stitch 360 photos, create amazing virtual tours and learn about the business side of being a 360 virtual tour photographer, then I have got a few courses that you will find very useful, and stick around until the end for a little special offer as well. So what I wanted to go through here is what you need to do to become a successful 360 virtual tour photographer, because it doesn't happen overnight, let me tell you. My career all started when I was working a 9-to-5 job for my old company, and my wife got me my first DSLR camera for my birthday, which I think from memory was a Canon 550D with a kit lens. And it was from then onwards really that my passion for photography grew, and it grew and it grew. So I started watching lots and lots of YouTube videos, tons of them, to learn about photography, learn how to master the exposure triangle, use manual mode instead of auto, editing in Lightroom, etc, all of those things. And looking back at my old images, a lot of them were shockingly bad. But I learned from my mistakes and I adapted. Fast forward a year or so, my photography got obviously much better. Because I used to be an estate agent or realtor, for those of you across the pond, I started taking photos of properties for friends, and then I thought, why not try and approach a few local businesses? Now, I've been in sales my whole working life, pretty much, so I had the benefit of knowing how to ask for business from a cold call or a cold email. And after approaching probably, I say 30 or so businesses, I managed to secure a job with a local hotel. So off I went. I did the photos, and they were very happy with them. But then the owner asks me if I do these Google tour thingies. I think he mentioned. No, I said, but give me a couple of weeks and I'll get the equipment that I need and learn, basically. So I purchased a fisheye lens and a nodal panoramic head and got to work. This leads me on to the first main section that I wanted to talk about, and that is now, my long-term subscribers will know that I have reviewed a number of cameras over the past years on this channel, and I personally still shoot with the Sony a7 IV for 90% of my commercial 360 tours, but that's not to say that this is the only option. There are tons of really good 360 one-shot cameras available nowadays, so here are a few that I would recommend, and I will add links to the review videos if they're available up the top here, and also links to purchase them in the description down below. So the first one that I would recommend is the Trizio Lite 2, which is a fantastic little camera. You'll notice that it only has one lens on it, and that's because what it does is it basically rotates. This is a little electronic rotator at the bottom here, and it rotates around and takes like 4 shots. I think it's 4 shots like that. The benefit of that is it gives you really good quality, and the images are all stitched in camera. The HDR is all done in camera, which just takes the hassle out of it completely. You take the photo, and because it's connected to the app on your phone, the image is literally just sent into your gallery on your phone, and then you can upload them to Google Drive. When you get home, you can chuck them all into a virtual tour. So it's really straightforward. These come in at about, I think, about 280, 290 pounds or so. The cheapest way, I've been told by a lot of people to purchase it, again up at the link to the website below, is through the Per Gear website. So you basically go onto that website and then choose your location, and then it will show you in your local currency how much that is. And I think it does show up cheaper than most places. So that's a winner. The next one that I would recommend is this little guy here, which is the Insta360 One RS 1-inch edition. Focus, there you go. So yeah, great camera, this one. It's got a 1-inch sensor on it, and that means that it's very good in low light. There are other Insta360 cameras. I think it's the X3, and I think they've just released the X4 as well. They are, I think they're slightly higher resolution than this one, but because this one has got a larger sensor, the quality from it is incredibly impressive. I don't use these massively for professional work, but I did take this recently to Iceland on a trip, and yeah, I mean, the video this thing takes in 360 is absolutely incredible, and that's what Insta360, in my opinion, are best at, is 360 video. So yeah, definitely worth considering that one. They come in at, I think, 800 odd pounds, 810 pounds. So quite a lot more expensive than this guy, but yeah, you can do more with it because this one doesn't do video. So the next one is, I've never owned one, but I've been told it's very good, is the Ricoh Theta Z1. Much more expensive than both of these. I think they're about £1,100, £1,200 or something. And yeah, it's a pricey camera, but again, it's got a 1-inch sensor, so you know the quality is going to be very good. And then I wanted to just bring this one in here, which is the Real C Golwar. You may have seen my review on this recently. Basically what it is it's a 360 LiDAR camera. So it works similar to Matterport, but the platform I think it works on is better. Again, I'll link to the review videos for these up the top. But yeah, the benefit with the Golwar here is that you pay for the camera, which is pricey. It's $5,500, but you don't have any subscription fees. So what they do is they work on a credit system. So at the moment they've got an offer where if you buy this, they give you a ton of credits included. So you can pretty much just hit the ground running and take virtual tours. I'm not sure how long that offer is going to be on for. So if you're interested in that, then I would get in there quickly if I was you. And then I thought I'd give an honourable mention to a camera that I have since sold, but it's the Xiaomi Mi Sphere. I have one of those for quite a while. It's a great little camera, really good fun, really good quality for its price and size. You can pick up one of those for about £120. I think I saw one for £100 or so. So dirt cheap, probably a little bit dated now. So yeah, but yeah, worth considering. It's an oldie but a goodie. The bottom line is that you don't really have to spend a fortune on a 360 camera to create virtual tours. I would always recommend to someone just getting into 360 photography to start small and upgrade your equipment as you get better, because you never know if it's all going to work out in the end. However, most people watching this video will probably have some kind of connection to photography. So if you already have a DSLR or mirrorless camera, then you're pretty much 50% of the way there. All you need is a fisheye lens and a panoramic tripod head. Which lens you get will depend on the type of camera that you have. So I would recommend that you do a little bit of research first, but here would be my recommendations. So for a full frame camera, which is what I use the Sony a7 IV, and for that I use the Samyang 12mm f2.8, which is this guy here. It's an absolutely brilliant lens, really, really, really sharp. It's manual, which doesn't really matter because for most 360 tools you're going to be focusing manually and keeping the aperture sort of around f8 or so anyway. But yeah, it's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant lens, this one. And I think that's available for most mounts as well, so that's good. So for crop sensor cameras, I would recommend the Samyang 8mm f3.5. That one has a removable hood, which must be taken off, otherwise you'll see it in the images. Make sure you don't get the f2.8 version because the hood on that one is fixed, and you'll need to shave it off with some kind of Dremel tool or something like that, which I've seen people do and it makes me go, oh. So yeah, f3.5 one, you don't need a wide aperture really on a fisheye lens unless you're doing 360 astrophotography or something like that. So and then you've got micro four thirds. I used to shoot on micro four thirds years and years and years back. I had the Panasonic G9, I think it was. I had three actually, the G7, the G80, then the G9. And for those cameras I used this again, it was Samyang, it was a 7.5mm f3.5, I think that was again. But all of these images, all of these lenses will give you a fisheye image that will cover the entire frame instead of one of those circular fisheye images, which personally I feel is the best way to go. I generally take 6 photos going around at 60-degree increments, then 1 for the zenith, looking up, and 2 for the nadir, looking down. And I do go through in fine detail how to set everything up and take and edit the photos in my 360 photography course. When it comes to panoramic heads, there is only one brand that I would recommend, and that is Nodal Ninja. Yes, they are on the pricier side, but they are built so well, and genuinely they will last you a lifetime. If you do want to go for a cheaper option, then it's worth looking at brands like Sunway Photo, Niwa, and Andua online, and you may find something, but talking from experience, they tend to break after a while or not offer accurate results due to the horizontal arm sticking out, sagging down a bit due to the weight of the camera. And if that happens between shots, it's gonna mess your shot up and it's not gonna stitch properly. It's definitely one of those sort of buy cheap, buy twice situations. So if Nodal Ninja is in your price bracket, then I would recommend the following. So for full frame or crop sensor cameras, I would recommend this one, which is the Nodal Ninja 6 with the RD10 rotator at the bottom. You can see, I mean, it's really, really solidly built, this panoramic head. And then for micro four thirds, I would recommend the Nodal Ninja 3 Mark III. You will also want to get some kind of leveling head to go under the panoramic head here. For that, I used to use the Sunway Photo one, which had like a little knob on the side and like a ball at the bottom, so you could, just rotate the ball and then clamp it down. But again, quality-wise, it did slip sometimes. So I used the, again, Nodal Ninja, the Easy Leveler 2, which is this one. There we go. So yeah, again, build quality is fantastic on this. It's a really, really, really great piece of kit, and you basically just turn these little knobs until it's flat. So this turning the knobs makes it go up and down and up and down. Again, you can, as I mentioned, I have one from Sunway Photo. You can find these levelers from other companies. Like I think Sunway Photo and Niwa do one as well. But this basically, as I said, just enables you to keep your camera level, which will save you a ton of time when it comes to editing your 360 images. So now we move on to, well, where do I start? As I said earlier, it would take me hours to go through all of the software and editing techniques and everything. But this is another thing that you will need to factor into your costings. But what software you use will depend on the camera that you've decided to use for 360 tours. For example, if you are using a one-shot camera, then that will come with software that stitches your images for you. unless you get the Trizio Lite 2, and then that's all done in camera anyway. So you don't even have to worry about the stitching side of things and editing. Again, review for that is up here. However, if you have chosen to go down the DSLR mirrorless route, then this is what you're going to need. So for editing, you'll need Lightroom, some kind of HDR software, and Photoshop, and optionally Topaz Labs. For stitching, you will need PTGUI, which is spelled PTGUI. The first thing that I do is bring all of my 360 images into Lightroom, and then I do some basic edits to my bracketed images. I take 3 brackets, 2 stops apart for each panorama, so 6 shots going around, 1 for the zenith, 2 for the nadir, with 3 brackets is 27 images per 360 photo. Then once they are exported, I'll do the HDR processing, and for this I have used SNS HDR for years. It's absolutely incredible. It gives really natural results that look like proper exposure blending, as opposed to that typical HDR-y look. I did do a review on SNS HDR quite a while back now. It was years ago, so I'll link to that up there, but do apologise. It's the sound's awful and it just looks rubbish. But it'll give you an idea of how good the software is. Then after that, it's time for you to stitch the photos. And for this, I use PTGUI, which has kind of become the industry standard for any kind of panoramic stitching, whether it's 360 photos or it's big sort of vista, sort of wide panoramas for landscape photography. There is a bit of a learning curve to PTGUI, however they do include presets for many different cameras and lenses, so I'm sure that they will have you covered. PTGUI is one of the more expensive pieces of software, but it is a crucial addition if you're using a DSLR or mirrorless camera. You can even use it with a one-shot camera like the Ricoh Theta Z1 or the Insta360 cameras, if you're finding that the stitching with their software isn't quite up to scratch. Sometimes it can create a few stitching errors and things like that. So PTGUI comes in at, I think it's around 350, 370 odd pounds, which is a one-off payment. Yes, sounds expensive, but considering what it can do and how much you're going to be using it, in my opinion, it is a necessity. So once you've stitched all your images, there is one optional program that you can use, and this would be more for the one-shot users, as often you will find that the images aren't quite as sharp if you're a little bit of a pixel peeper like me, or they might even be a bit noisy because you may have had to shoot at a higher ISO. And that piece of software I would recommend for that is Topaz Labs AI. Again, I did a review on this a while back now, but ultimately it will scan your images and add sharpness where needed, which can be adjusted to suit your taste and masked out and all this sort of stuff, as well as removing noise depending on the severity. So in my opinion, if you aren't shooting with DSLR mirrorless, it's an absolute necessity, really, that piece of software. Then if you're like me and you don't offset your tripod to take a nadir shot, then you'll need to remove your tripod in your 360 image. I used to use Affinity Photo to do this, but now with the introduction of generative AI, or generative fill as it's called, I have started using Photoshop to do this. Once again, I have recorded quite a few videos to think of it, yeah. But I'll put a video to my Photoshop Gen AI tripod removal video up here as well. So, next. There is so much choice out there at the moment when it comes to 360 virtual tour software. But the main decision will come down to whether you want to pay for something monthly or pay a one-off fee, which is what I decided to do all those years back, as it works out way cheaper in the long run. I decided to use 3D Vista, as many of you already know. I feel that it's one of the best 360 virtual tour platforms available today, simply down to its amazing user interface, which, let's face it, if you are going to be using a program for sometimes hours and hours on end, it helps that it looks good and it's easy to navigate. Also, it offers a ton of features that just enable me to create really, really nice custom tours for my clients. So yeah, if you are one of the rare people that hasn't had a look at it yet, then do check out the link to that. I have done quite a few review videos on 3D Vista, so you will find a link to that one above or in the description below. But the main thing for me is that I don't have to pay any monthly payments for it at all. The software itself is $499 or euros, which, all things considered, is extremely good value. And I go through the financial comparisons in my review video, so it's definitely worth a look if you haven't seen it already. And you will get my 3-hour 3D Vista training course completely free of charge if you decide to purchase the software through the link in the description, as well as a discount off my other courses as well. So winner, winner. The other option, and this is probably going to be a better choice if you're just having a bit of fun with 360, is to go for something that has a monthly subscription charge. It doesn't have to just be for fun, but what I found is that the feature set inside something like 3D Vista offers quite a lot more. So I did use I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Round Me or Cooler, one of the two. But I just found that I didn't have quite enough features. But yeah, the other option is to go for one that has a monthly subscription charge, and there are tons and tons and tons to choose from. My recommendations would be Thesis or Theasis. I think it's Theasis. Cooler or Teleport Me are really good ones as well. And they all work out at an average of, I think, about $25 a month, $25 a month. So if you're planning on doing this for the long term, then 3D Vista will be a better financial choice. But all these platforms are great and offer some really, really, really good features. So if you do decide to get 3D Vista, then you will also need to find somewhere to host your tours. That can either be done using 3D Vista's own hosting, which, if you're doing high volumes, then it can get quite expensive. But they do give you 3 months free hosting to get up and running. Or you can use any web hosting service that allows FTP access. I personally use a company called 20i, who are absolutely fantastic, but there are tons of others, like SiteGround, Hostinger, or Bluehost, I think is another one, just to name a few. So now we are going to talk about... I could go on about this topic for hours, but again, you can find a link to my full business course down in the description below. I just wanted to cover a couple of important topics here, which I get asked a lot. And the first one is pricing. The amount of emails I've received asking me how much I charge or how much should I charge for my virtual tours. But this depends on a number of different factors, but mainly what country are you located in, what is your level of experience, and what equipment are you using. If you're shooting with a budget one-shot camera or something that hasn't got a very sort of high resolution or anything like that, then being completely honest, you will struggle to charge the higher prices, because over the past 5 years, so many people have started a 360 virtual tour business, and it is getting quite competitive. So it is important to make sure that the quality of your tours is up to scratch. With a bit of extra processing, you can get great results from the likes of the Insta360 and Trizio Lite 2, and make money using them for virtual tours. But to charge the higher rates and earn really decent money, you should be looking into using DSLR or mirrorless. Although, in my opinion, DSLRs are now a bit of a dying breed, but that's for another day. As a ballpark, price-wise, let's say you have been approached by a restaurant and you are going to have to take 12 photos to complete the tour, bearing in mind that I personally don't take 360 photos every 2 meters because it's unnecessary, unless you're using something like Matterport or something like that, just so it can create the doll's house thingy. But you do need to ensure that you're covering each area clearly. Here's an example layout for you to take a quick look at to give you an idea of the spacing and where I would take my shots. So price-wise, for this, you should be looking at charging at least £50 or $65 or so per 360 photo, plus a charge to create the tour for them. This charge would really depend on how much work you need to do to add their branding, their fonts, things like a location map, navigation menus, etc., etc. So for this job, fake restaurant job, you should look at charging around £600 or $750 odd for the photography side of things, plus an hourly rate of your choosing for creation of the virtual tour. So you can see from that, I mean, these tours can get up into 4 figures, you know, some can even get up into 5 figures. Personally, I don't charge a hosting fee, as I offer most of my clients the chance to host on their own website. And also, I don't pay much at all for my hosting service. So I don't feel it's fair, really, to charge clients for it if I'm not paying for it. But if you do want to charge a monthly or yearly hosting fee, then that will bring in another yearly / monthly income for you as well, which I suppose is good. I might start charging hosting fees soon, actually, because I've got to update my hosting because it's getting full. The next area is how to get the business in the first place. Again, I go into quite a lot of detail about this on my course, as I've been in sales for 28 years. But if you are starting right at the very beginning, don't go out trying to get work until you are, I would say, 80 to 100% confident in the results of your 360 photography and what you can deliver. Then and only then do you start going for clients, because if you start when you're not ready, you'll just end up potentially, you know, upsetting people, damaging your brand, you know, damaging your rep, as to say, which is never good. So at this stage, you probably won't have any 360 tours to show people either, so it wouldn't be worth getting a website yet. So just be honest, you know, approach a few small businesses like hairdressers, nail and beauty salons, or small cafes, and explain what you're doing, that you're looking to add your first tools to your portfolio. Never offer anything free, as it degrades the quality of your business. Instead, what I would do is say that you would normally charge, say, £200 for a virtual tour, just as an example, but you'd be happy to do one for them at a discounted rate with, say, 40, 50% off, whatever it may be. Then you're still going to get paid for it, which is good, and you haven't sort of made your business look cheap. Once you've done that one cafe, then you can use that virtual tour as an example to email or show to other cafe owners in the area. And then it will grow and grow and grow from there. Once you've got 3 or 4 cafes under your belt, then you can move on to hairdressers or whatever it may be. And before you know it, you're going to have a load of different industries under your belt. I wouldn't sort of try and approach too many industries at the same time, because it can get a little bit overwhelming. So try and stick to one industry at a time. And then, yeah, it should grow and grow. This takes time, patience, and a bit of a thick skin, but I guarantee that with hard work, then you will get there. I did mention earlier that I had a special offer for people who've watched this video, and this will be running until the end of September 2024. So I have added a discount code below, which will give you 10% off any of my training courses. So do check those out. And yeah, I think that's it. I hope this has been useful for you all. Please do consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Or if you're feeling really generous, then there's a little thanks button just down the bottom here, where you can leave me a little tip to get a coffee or a new pair of sunglasses or something. Not that I need them, as it's rarely sunny in the UK here anyway. In fact, it is now. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I wish you all the best on your 360 journeys. Take care.